Good morning, everyone. Last time we have discussed about some of the properties of the colloids like electrophoresis, Tyndall effect, and Brownian motion, etc. This time we are going to study about the emulsion. What are the emulsions? When we say that what are the emulsions, we say that emulsions are the colloids having phase and medium both are liquid, or you can say the liquid colloids are called the emulsion. So what are the different type of the emulsion and how the emulsions are different from other species? Here in the case of emulsion, the dispersive phase, the droplets of the dispersive phase are mixed with the dispersion medium to form the emulsion. So when you will see the emulsion is also classified into two parts, that is the oil in water and water in oil. So when you will see the example of these two, the oil in water, the best example is the milk, where oil is in water, the oil is that desi ghee, whatever we call desi ghee, is dissolved in water making the milk. And when you will see the water in oil, it may be hair cream or cold cream. These are the materials are used for the moisturization. And how they moisturize the substance, the hair or the skin? When we put these of the creams on our body and we just rub it, the lighter oil comes on the surface and the heavier water remains within the surface, that means in contact of the skin. Then that water provides moisturization to the skin and the oil does not let it to go, does not allow it to evaporate. So in this way the moisture remains with the body and our body remains wet. So this is some of the examples of the emulsion. But if you want to know that whether it is oil in water or water in oil, then how will you identify, how will you test that whether your mixture is water in oil or oil in water, whether your emulsion is water in oil or oil in water? Then how will you identify? You can identify with the help of the azo dye test. Azo dye test. What is the azo dye test? If we are considering that this is the emulsion, two different emulsions, one is oil in water and second one is water in oil. These are the dispersive phase particles within the system. If it is oil in water and you are adding the azo dye in it, azo dye is a type of dye made by the aniline type species, then in that condition the medium will become colored. And if it is a water in oil species, water in oil, then in this condition when you are adding the azo dye, the particles, the droplets will become colored and the medium will remain colorless. And this is called the azo dye test. This is the test for the identification of the emulsion. You can note it. Now we are going to see some of the applications of the colloids. We are not going to see all the applications of the colloid. I am going to see only few applications of the colloid, in which the first one is sky appears blue. When you have studied in the class 10th, then your physics teacher must have said that the color of sky is due to the dispersion of light. as light contains 7 different colors, that is the vibrio, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red, then the dispersion of the violet, indigo and blue is the maximum and orange and red is the minimum. So the mixture of that dispersed color is generating the sky blue color, and that is the reason why the sky appears blue. But when you will ask the same question in chemistry, we are not going to discuss about the nature of light. We are not going to discuss about the phenomena which is taking place in the case of light. We will discuss about the nature. We will discuss about the matter. And when you will see the matter, when you will see that why the dispersion of light is taking place in our atmosphere, why not in other atmospheres. So you can say that our atmosphere is a colloidal system. The whole atmosphere, air along with the dust particle, that is a colloidal system. And when light travels through that colloidal system, the dispersion of light takes place, and that dispersion of light is responsible for the color representation, as you know, already know. Okay. Now the second topic, that is the delta formation, that is the river delta. What is river delta? If this is the sea, river meeting to sea, then at the meeting point of river and sea, a delta formation takes place. That is the deposition of soil takes place. Then why such delta formation takes place? Why it is taking place only at the meeting point, not anywhere else? So when you will discuss the nature of river water, during the soil erosion, the soil comes to the river water, and because of the soil, the river water show the nature of the colloidal system, the water containing the soil. So the river water is a colloidal system. When this colloidal system comes in contact of the sea, which is containing an electrolyte called NaCl. So when it comes in the contact of sea containing NaCl, so in presence of NaCl, the deposition, the suspension of the soil particle will take place, the destruction of the colloidal system will take place, and as a result they will suspend. But if they are suspending, generally we knew that the natural system survive in the form of the sphere. We have never seen that any of the natural system is surviving in a triangle form. Then why it is surviving in this triangle form? Because of the Bernoulli theorem. When you will talk about the river have this structure. This is the maximum depth and this is the shallow banks. So according to Bernoulli theorem, because of the lower pressure, the flow of water will be maximum at the banks and it will be minimum in the center, in the middle. So in this way, where the flow of water is maximum, that will provide greater pressure, और ऐसा होने से क्या होगा, ये सारे soil particles चल के आगे आ जाएंगे. But in the middle, the velocity of water is much lesser, so that is not capable to push the soil in that way. The water is pushing in these of the position. So the soil remains here, and these of the soils comes up and forms this type of structure, which is called the river delta. One last application we are going to see, and that is called the Cottrell smoke precipitator, a very important equipment, especially in the industries. Then this is the Cottrell smoke precipitator. In our zone, the number of chimneys are very heavy because we are living in the industrial area. And if this much chimneys are there, surely a heavy exhaust is also taking place, and that smoke, that exhaust is containing a heavy amount of carbon with the smoke. And if this amount of carbon is coming out from the chimney, surely that will cause some problem. अगर गांव में देखें, कभी गांव में गए होंगे आप लोग, अगर गांव में देखें तो ईंट भट्ठे होते हैं, ईंट भट्ठों से निकलने वाली स्मोक से जो कार्बन निकलता है, सिर्फ एक ईंट भट्ठे से इतना निकलता है कि गांव में ऊपर छतों पे या खुले में वाइट कपड़े डालने में प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है, क्योंकि उसके ब्लैक पार्टिकल्स जो होते हैं, कार्बन पार्टिकल्स जो होते हैं, वो आके कहीं पे कलेक्ट हो जाते हैं और कपड़ों को गंदा कर देते हैं. But in these of the industrial area where the number of chimneys is much heavier, you will find that there is no deposition of the carbon particle is taking place. How it's possible? It's possible because of the cottrell smoke precipitator. Consider that this is the chimney. Smoke is coming out from this chimney. In this chimney, we put the cottrell smoke precipitator, which is a plate-like structure, and we pass a current having 20,000 to 30,000 volt. Surely it is a very heavy voltage, and when we pass this heavy voltage, what happens? We knew well that all the colloidal particles are charged particles. In the electrophoresis we have already studied about it. Then these of the charged particles attracts towards these of the plates, and when they are attracted towards these of the plates, the carbon particles remains on the plate and the remaining smoke will come out. We can't say that now this smoke is a pollution free, but surely this smoke is free of carbon, and surely there is lesser pollution than the previous condition. That means when the carbon was not removed from the system, and this equipment is called the cottrell smoke precipitator. Now some of the other materials which are colloidal system and which are used in our daily life, that is some of the food materials like paneer, cheese, and some of the other milk products. Along with that, our blood is also a best example of the colloidal system, and some of the other colloidal systems also we are using in our daily life. So these were the important applications of the colloidal system. This chapter is over. Next time we will discuss the next chapter. Till then, thank you. Have a nice day.